We have got the video that you've been waiting for because we are going to cover the chart settings from start to finish. This video is going to take some time because as you get really good at using TradingView, you'll learn that just about everything on your chart can be customized to your exact liking, whether it's the look and feel of the chart, the size of the text, the data you see, or even the trading features that you see on your chart as well. So we're going to walk through all of these items, and as you just noticed, the first step to making adjustments to your chart is the chart settings button up here at the top right. You can also right click at any point in time and get to your chart settings menu that way as well. Now what you will notice as you get started with your chart settings menu is that you have access to symbol, see the candlesticks, so that's going to change the candlesticks. The status line, look at the icon here. This is your status line up here, so it's going to change how these numbers are presented. The scales and lines, which is just what it sounds like. Your scales are here. This is your price scale. This is your time scale, and these are the lines going across the chart. Your canvas, which is going to change the color, look, and feel of your chart to your exact needs. Everyone has a different way of looking at charts. You're going to want to go to your canvas to really access this. And please also remember, as you get started with your canvas, you can save your canvas with the template feature at the bottom. So you can save the colors of your chart in these templates. It's not going to save all of these other features, but that means you can save at least your design look. Which, before we get to trading and events, takes us to an important point to remind you of. When you create the most perfect chart, so let's say this is our chart. We love this chart. It's the way we like our candles. The text is perfect. Everything looks good. That's where you're going to want to make sure you save your full layout. So this is where the chart layout becomes absolutely essential. Now our Help Center has a ton of videos and information about using your saved layouts. In fact, you can see we've already made Steph's templates video, short-term investing layout, line chart, crypto only. You can create layouts like this and save them. Go watch that video. Go read our Help Center articles. But let's get back now to the chart settings because we're also going to show you how to add specific trading features to the chart and also events. That means you can see real-time news on the chart, earnings, splits, dividends, ideas, and much more. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's go back up to the start now, do each of these in a real-time walkthrough. So the first thing you're going to notice about the symbol is the candlesticks icon. That means everything we do here is going to change the candlesticks. So body, borders, wick. Make sure you read everything in the chart settings to really get a feel for what it means. And always know that there are these boxes that you can toggle on or off. So if the body is toggled on, the body of the candle's colored in, but watch this. Now it's not colored in. So all of these features can be quickly toggled on and off once you get to master these check marks. And keep in mind, this applies to all of the chart settings. Whenever you see a checkbox, you can turn things on and off just by checking them. Now, as we're on the symbol page here, symbol settings, we should say, keep in mind that because we're on candlestick charts, we see the settings for the candlestick charts. But if we change to a line chart, well, now we see the settings for the line chart we're looking at. And you know this because it's symbol, NVIDIA, we're on a line chart. Here are our line chart features. So watch the color of this line. We can change it that quickly. Now we're going to go back to candles because candles are widely used. But if you happen to like bars, you're going to see some additional features that you can access. Thin bars or thick bars, HLC bars. The choice, once again, is yours. But the reason why we are going to show you candles first is because they are one of the most popular and widely used tools out there for charting and trading. Keep in mind, though, that you should dive in and experiment with all of these features yourself until you create the most perfect chart for your style, your workflow, your process. Now, what we're going to do is keep our body the same, green and red. And you know this because the green is when the candle's green, so it was a positive day. Red when the day was down, so it's a red day. But we are going to make some changes to the border. Let's make our borders always white. So now the candles pop a little bit more. We can really see them because we just made the borders white. We're going to keep the wicks the same, but if we wanted to, we could make them maybe a slightly different color green on up days. Or let's do this green here, or a slightly different red on down days. How about we actually do this color here? So what we're doing is making a chart that works for us. In addition, depending on what symbol you're looking at or chart type, you're going to get some data modification settings down here. In this case, we are looking at NVIDIA, NVDA. It is a stock after all, so we have the capability to adjust the entire chart for dividends. NVIDIA does not pay dividends, so we're not going to have this box checked. And we have information in our help center about adjusting data for dividends. Our YouTube channel as well has a whole walkthrough on dividends as well. Also, what you'll notice in this data modification setting is the ability to customize the precision of the price scales and the data you see, as well as the time zone. We are recording this video in New York City. We are in Manhattan at this moment, so let's have UTC4 New York selected. We're in New York after all, so let's see our New York time. But depending where you are in the world, you can add any time that you want, or maybe you're trading a specific part of the world and you want to see that time as you trade. Precision now will ensure that you have all the options you need to see as many decimal points as you want wherever. We just added 15 decimals. That seems a little excessive, but that really is going to get the point across at what you can do here. So we have 15 decimals selected at this point. Look at even our data up here. But let's go back to default. Default means it'll default to the symbol's most preferred method of data display. In this case, this is a stock price. If you trade stocks, you'll know it's usually just these 2 decimals. So now you understand these symbol settings. Moving down to the status line. The status line, what's key here is look at the logo here as it shows the data and then it's stacked below it. This refers to the data you see up here at the top of the chart. So that is the status line. And as you read through all of these features, they're just what they sound like. You can see the NVIDIA logo right here. We're going to check this box. It's gone. But let's keep the logo up there because it's pretty cool to see the logo. Title, well, we see NVIDIA Corporation. So let's check it off. Maybe we don't need to see that. We just want more data. The choice is yours. More importantly, you have the ability to add the description or just the ticker, NVDA, or the ticker and the description. For this video, we're going to show the ticker and the description because now if you're a new trader and you have no idea what NVDA is, well, now you just cannot miss it that NVDA means NVIDIA Corporation. So we're going to keep all of that data up there. You can see this green light here, market open. For those of you who look across many different symbols, asset classes, and exchanges, this is how you know if the market is open that you're looking at. Live trading is happening. It's within the hours of operation. If this light is on, it means the market's open. You can display that or not. For this video, we're going to keep that on because if we go to different asset classes, we want to know if they're open or not. So now we're on EURUSD and we can see it's open. So this is a rather helpful feature. OHLC values. This is open, high, low, close. Well, that refers to this data here. OHLC. Open, high, low, close. We're on a daily chart, and so we can see all of that data here for the day. Why don't we hide that for now to reduce the amount of data that we're looking at? Okay, excellent. We have bar change values as well. That's going to tell you the change in the bars that you're looking at. For now, we're going to hide that as well, and we're going to keep this rather simple. In fact, we don't even need to see volume because we're not even showing a volume indicator currently. We really just want to make sure that you're grasping how you can create any chart that's perfect for you. If you'd like, you can even see last day change values, so you see that. But once again, we're not going to show that. And of course, you can change the background or opacity as well. Moving down to the scales and lines, this is where things start to get very interesting, especially for the advanced traders. Now we're going to move our chart settings over here to the left because we're talking about scales and lines now. Price scale, time scale. So scales and lines, just what it sounds like. And these lines go across the scales. See this dotted line? So currency unit, we are looking at the EURUSD. And if we hover our mouse over this chart, you can see it says EURUSD. We can click a drop down and then look at this symbol in any other currency that we so please. As you can see, it's on visible on mouse over, but we can do always visible. So it's always showing. Or maybe we don't even want to deal with that. We don't want this thing to pop up. We want to see the numbers. The choice, once again, is yours. We're going to keep visible on mouse over for this video. Scale modes, auto and log. We've got so much information in our help center about auto and log and videos in our YouTube channel about this. Go watch those. We're not going to dive into how these features work, but if you ever need to auto scale your chart in a click, you can do that with scale modes, auto and log, ANL, auto and log. And similar to this currency and unit that we just walked you through, you get to decide how you want to see these, or if you don't want to see them at all, make it always invisible. We are going to do always visible for the sake of this video because we might be moving our chart around, zooming out, and we're going to want to quickly hit A to auto scale our chart back to a nice look. Lock price to bar ratio. You can customize the price to bar ratio depending on your needs. If you don't know how to use this tool before, we really dive in and show you some examples, it's probably best that you go in and give it a try yourself. So this way you can sort of get a feel for the price to bar ratio that you would like to see. Now, we didn't show you the greatest example there. We're on Euro USD. It's going to be everyone's preference, but we did just uncheck it quickly because it was just way too compressed and went back to auto. Scales placement. Once again, you can stack these scales on the left or stack these scales on the right. The choice is yours, or have it on auto. Auto just means it'll automatically update to the scale method of your choice, and most people will probably want to see the scales on the right here, but at times people really do like to see their scales on the left. Okay, moving on. What we now are going to do is stack these on the right again, get back to normal here. And now we have some more features on the price labels and lines, and this is where things get rather exciting, and if you're an advanced TradingView user, pay attention. No overlapping labels. You'll really start to see this in effect once we have many labels here on the chart, so let's keep this on. The plus button, such a great feature because if we check this on, watch this. See this plus? This now follows us on the price scale at all times. Watch what happens when we click the plus. Add an alert, sell, buy, create new order, draw a horizontal line. These are some pretty quick actions just by having the plus right there following us around as needed. So you can do some rather fast analysis, especially if you have your paper trading engine connected as well. You can place paper trading trades just in a matter of seconds. Countdown to bar close is one of the more asked about features. Incredibly helpful, especially in this case, we are in Manhattan, so let's go back to stock prices. We can see when the market's closing. So this is a daily chart. So the next candle will begin tomorrow, but the session closes in 5 hours and 20 minutes. We can watch this countdown in real time. Look at it, it's counting down until the session close. And if you're on a 2-hour chart, well, now you're going to see when the next candle will begin. It's a 2-hour chart, so there's 1 hour and 20 minutes until the next candle prints. Let's go back to daily. Now we go to settings, and we're going to keep walking you through all of this. We're actually going to turn countdown to bar close off just because it sort of adds another element. We don't want your eyes to be too distracted. Symbol. Now, you probably are noticing that there's a green line going across the chart. Well, this is telling us the price of the symbol, and it's currently checked. Now, if you find yourself on a chart not knowing what this green line is, come right here, scales and lines, symbol, because you can make it a lot more obvious to you just like that. Did you see what we did there? We just checked these boxes, and now we have a line going across our chart that shows the name, NVIDIA, the value at this point, 872, and a line to show us. If we uncheck the line, well, that's rather beautiful. Now we know the symbol and the price at any given point. We don't even need the line going across the chart. But some of you may want to see the line going across the chart simply because you can zoom out. So zoom out, all-time chart, and observe that, wow, that's definitely an all-time high. And you can watch that line go across the symbol's entire history. So why don't we go ahead, though, and actually turn that line off, because we're going to be showing you many more lines that you can draw on your chart automatically from the chart settings menu. Now, as you can see here, you have the ability as well to sort of determine what else you want to see related to the symbol values that you're showing. And don't forget, you can change the color of the line. We didn't even show you that yet. So if you wanted to make something that you just simply can't miss, look at this, a blue dotted line, maximum thickness. But as mentioned, we're going to be showing you a lot more lines to draw. Now, we were just showing you the price and percentage change. So we can see it's 875, and then we see the percentage change over a specific time period. So it will automatically change depending on the chart. Now, this is a super helpful feature if you are looking to do quick percentage change calculations over various time periods. So 1 month, it's up 20%. 6 months, it's up 90%. 1 year, it's up 284%. The choice is yours when you have this turned on. Another really great feature to master, and that's why we said scales and lines here would be a great walkthrough for you. Now, we are going to turn that off because, as mentioned, we want less data because there's so much more we have to show to you. Previous day close, just what it sounds like. Do you want to see the previous day close on the chart or not, and what color? Indicators and financials. Well, let's go ahead and add a moving average here. Where's our simple moving average? There it is. This blue line. Can't miss it. Why don't we change the style? You probably can sense now where we're going with this. Let's also make sure we know what this, okay, it's a 9-day. Let's change this to a 20-day moving average. So you probably really see what we're about to do. Let's go back to our chart settings. We're on scales and lines. Let's go down, indicators and financials. Actually, let's see the name and the value. Just like that, you'll never miss the name and value of the indicator or financial that you want to see. Pre and post market lines. If this market was closed, and say we were zoomed in on more of a, let's say, smaller time frame here to show the after hours, well, you are able to see the pre and post market values by following these pre and post market lines. The market's currently open, so we're not going to see those lines at this point. But if the market were closed, we would be seeing these values jet across the chart. Let's turn them off for now, though, because the market is open. High and low, this is a wonderful feature. Absolutely wonderful. And actually, we did miss them up pre and post, because what you should also know is you can change the colors of these lines as well. So that's going to be a feature that's pretty important. But of course, we have to tell you about the high and low, because the high and low gives you the capability to always see the high and low of the symbol over any period in time. So look, it says high here, low here, specifically on the chart that we're starting from on January 10th. The reason why this feature is wonderful is because it will once again dynamically adjust as you zoom out or zoom in. So the low over this period was 534, but watch this. Zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. The low's 280. So you get a real-time view of where the highs and lows are depending on how zoomed out you are or how zoomed in you are. Another really helpful tool to give you context on the trade that you're interested in. By the way, check out this pop-up here of this news notification. How cool is that? We're going to show you how to turn that on or off, so we get this really important news popping up on our chart in real time. This is also a feature that you can access from the settings menu in events. We'll get there. Stick around to see how this works. But let's wrap this up and really show you what else is possible. The bid ask. Well, for all of you who want to see real-time buy and sell orders or asks and bids, this is how you can do it. Look at this, calculate in real time. The ask is what people are asking to sell at. The bid is what people are asking to buy at. So there's going to be this slight spread here, and you can watch it dynamically change right there with the price, so it's sort of the equilibrium price in the middle. If you're on a 1-minute chart, you can really see this in action. You're just seeing the battle of buyers and sellers right before your eyes. Check that out. Ask, bid, price right here. Really fantastic stuff. You can get a huge feel for sentiment, real-time trading if you have the subscriptions and the plan level to really see this in the most perfect possible way. Now, we are starting to see a lot of data on the chart, but it's pretty exciting actually, so let's keep going. Now you can get day of week labels as needed. You also can adjust your time format as well, so all of the dates that you see on your scales and lines, choice is yours. Let's keep it on the default option. Your time hours format, well, you're going to notice down here it says 10:45 a.m. Well, that's 12 hours. We are recording this at 10:45 a.m. But if we do 24 hours, it adjusts to a 24-hour time. But let's keep it on 12 hours to see it more with the AM. So 24 hours don't use AM or PM. 12 hours does. So now we've shown you the symbol, the status line, the scales and lines, and we're going to now move to the canvas. The canvas is where things get really great, because the canvas is now where you can design the chart of your choice, meaning the background color, the scales. Do you want them to be, do you want the text really large or small? All of this now starts at the canvas. And by the way, as we get started here, keep in mind that you can save your canvas as a template. Look at all of these canvases that we've saved over time. In fact, we've made these team templates here with specific colors so people can try different color templates. This is our video layout example. So let's actually save as, and let's call this, let's just call this YouTube. Let's call this YouTube 2, because it's just our YouTube 2 video. It's the second video we've made about the chart settings. Let's click save. Now the reason why we did that is because, check this out, let's go to, how about default dark mode? Check it out. all of our settings are still here, but the canvas has changed. Or else, let's go to area dusk yellow, or red green candles, or candles blue gradient. You can start to see now how you can quickly access the different canvases that you create. Let's go back to our YouTube too. Here's our gradient, but we could have a solid color if we would prefer. In fact, that looks rather nice, doesn't it? Or do any of these other colors look good? You can do this yourself right from the canvas, and this is one of the fun aspects of the chart settings menu. So we really saved one of the best features for about the meat of the video here, right in the middle. So hopefully you have stuck around and now we're starting to see everything that's possible. The grid lines, well, we've all seen graph paper before, whether we're in middle school or high school or something else. The grid lines will show you the actual grids, lining you up with the dates and the price points. So it looks like graph paper now. See the grids? By the way, you can control the look and feel of your grids as well. Many people prefer sometimes to not have grids. For this chart video, we're keeping them off. Crosshair, just what it sounds like. That's the crosshairs here that's following our mouse. See, it's all white up and down. Well, let's go to blue. Now it's blue. See that? Or let's go to this sort of pinkish color. Now it's pink. For this video, let's go to white. Let's keep the thickness low. And how about we do a solid line? Look at that. That's a true crosshair. So now we can see perfect points on the chart and where our mouse is looking at. Watermark, well, if you ever wanted to see the watermark of the symbol you're looking at, you can do that as well. So that means that you can see sort of the symbol on the chart as needed. Let's go to a daily chart. So we made it green. I mean, it's everyone's preference here. That actually, to us in this example, is a little too much information, but we can make it more subtle. And how about we do that? Let's go to white, change the opacity, and click OK. That's a little better, isn't it? How cool is that? Symbol right there in the middle. In fact, let's make it the opacity even less. So it's just sort of in the background. We just can't miss it. Excellent. There we go. Okay, settings. Let's continue. Scales text. Well, you've probably always wanted to know how to change the text on your scale, and that can be done just from this point. White text, white text. Let's make it a little bit larger. This is now working just like a Word doc. The same way you might change the font on your Word doc or the size of the font, that's where this comes into play. Same with the lines. So you actually can't see any lines, but watch this. Now let's up the opacity. Now you can see the lines on the scales. See that? And we're going to keep going down. Your buttons, once again, very similar to what we also said. Navigation and pane, visible on mouse over or not. And then your margins. If you've ever used a Word doc before, this is how you can create different margins on your chart, top, bottom, right. Go experiment with these if they matter to you, or especially if you like to make your own custom margins on charts or Word docs. Same type of feature set that you can access here. Moving on to trading and events. Now we're going to actually skip trading and come back to this at the end, because it really sort of captures a whole nother aspect of the chart settings. Events is what we're going to do first because it ties together really nicely with everything we've shown you so far. And we're going to turn all these off for now. Now the reason why we turn those all off is because we're going to walk you through each one by one. Ideas is just what it sounds like. You can see ideas from other traders on the chart. And you can see them as these sort of orange and red, and there should be some green. There you go, these green icons. If you hover your mouse over them, it gives you a preview as well. You can decide which ideas you want to see, by the way. Only of followed users, or all ideas, or my ideas. Let's turn this off. Now you have dividends as well. Check that out. Dividend icon, click it. We can see the dividends. We have splits, so if the symbols ever split before, aha, now we know. Look at this. Let's click. There was a split. How cool is that? We have earnings dates, so let's go ahead and hide these now. And we can see the earnings dates on the chart as well. The green means they beat earnings. The red means they missed. And you can click through each of these however you need, and even see upcoming expected earnings. If you'd like to see earnings breaks, so you can sort of measure time intervals or do analysis in between the different earnings reports, that's what that check mark is going to do. You can also see latest news and minds. We're going to hide earnings. That's this lightning bolt, which you can now access. Latest news and minds is on. Look at all of this news coming in about NVIDIA. Absolutely so cool. And then minds, These are ideas or quick notes from traders being published into the chat. You can read more here. Similar to news, you can scroll down, see all of these breaking headlines, and get more news. Now recall earlier in the video there was a pop-up here of a news notification. You guessed it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the news notification. If you want to see real-time news pop up in a beautiful fashion right here at the bottom left, turn this on. Alert lines, well, if you are an expert at creating alerts, which we're going to do right now, let's do add an alert. Or let's do add an alert way up here. And there it is. Okay, so you probably starting to already grasp what we're doing. Well, this blue line is the alert we just created, and we can literally see that. NVIDIA crossing 1039. So if NVIDIA crosses this level, we'll get an alert sent to us, and because we have this box checked, we can see it all the way across the chart. Recall we use the plus symbol to create this alert. There are other ways to create alerts, and if you want to learn more, we have tons of videos on our YouTube channel as well as in our help center. Go watch those. Now we're going to turn alert lines off because it's just some information that we don't really need at this point. But actually, let's turn them back on because maybe we can make it look a little more subtle. Aha! Change the opacity and the color. Now, by now, you've probably understood just how many customizations there are, even to the point of changing these colors as such. Now it's time to talk about trading, but before we talk about trading, what we need to do is make sure we're connected to our paper trading engine, which we already are with this green light. But let us log out for a second to remind you that you can connect to any of these brokerages as needed. See this? And everything we're about to show you applies to these brokerages or to paper trading, which we are going to reconnect to. So we're connected to paper trading. Now this is where, when we go to the settings, the trading settings here is absolutely essential to understand. So we're going to turn on buy sell buttons, which means we can buy and sell now right here. These are buy and sell buttons. Blue is buy, red is sell. One click and this ticket opens up, which we can customize as needed. Market orders, limit orders, stops. We can do take profits, stop loss. Choice is ours. And how great is this news here just popping up in real time. Instant order placements if we want to go quick. Play sounds for executions. That's right. We can have a list of sounds being played as we're placing our paper trades or our real trades if we were connected. We're going to keep this off though for now. Notifications, all events or rejections only. Now this is your personal preference. If you know that your trades are going through and you don't need notifications, well, you probably just will want rejection only because obviously if a trade gets rejected, you want to know, right? If a trade gets rejected, you want to know why, what happened, was it a bad trade, did I input something incorrectly? For now, we're going to keep all events, meaning even trades that go through and other things that we do will get a notification on our chart, similar to how you've been seeing the news notification. All right, this is where things get to be quite fun. And actually, one thing that we probably need to do for this part of the video is actually start to hide some of the lines on our chart. And the reason why we are going to start to hide these lines is because we're going to be adding new lines related to trading. So first thing we're going to do is we're connected to our paper trading engine. We're going to buy some NVIDIA. And as we mentioned, there's a notification. So we're in. But notice that we can't see the NVIDIA trade anywhere on the chart. Where did we place it? Well, ladies and gentlemen, click positions. And of course, click orders. And check that out. We are now building our chart here with orders on the chart. If we hover our mouse over the position, we have our take profit. Let's move that up. We have our stop loss. Let's move that down. In fact, maybe this take profit should be a little higher for better risk-reward ratio. In our profit and loss, which is money, or ticks, or percentage, so we can see that according to the trade. And of course, as well, we have the reverse button if needed. The reverse button is something that you might be interested in from the standpoint of quickly reversing the trade as you see fit. But of course, that's going to really depend on the type of trade that you're placing. We're going to walk you through the reverse button in a second. But let us just quickly, let's go back to auto here. Let us just quickly show you some of the other things that we checked, which is orders. Well, of course we want to see our orders. Brackets, profit and loss. So pay attention here that if we have the brackets, profit and loss toggled off, you can see here it just shows our stop loss and take profit. It's just text. But if we have this turned on, we can see the percentage loss or percentage gain. Or if we want to see it in dollar terms, we can see the dollar loss or the dollar gain. For this video, let's do percentage because it's not relevant how much money we're trading. It's just about percentage gains. Even if we're trading $10, how do we do on a percentage basis? And does that scale up to bigger money? Executions, if we wish to see those on the chart as well. Execution labels. And of course, extended price lines for orders. Now, extended price lines for orders are just what they sound like because you can see your orders go across the chart. See these green and yellow lines and blue line? Well, if you don't want to see them go across the chart, have this unchecked. If you do, check it. Now, why would you want this checked? Well, it can be a really helpful feature if you are zoomed out looking at historical levels to see where your stop loss and take profit targets are. In this case, they're both in all-time high territory. That alone is a very insightful reference for your trading. Everything that we're doing in this example is in the all-time high territory. There's not many other points in history where either of these levels have been hit. So we're going to keep that on because we like that feature. Your order and positions alignment, you can move them to the center. Here they are now in the center. Let's change this price scale a little. Or if we'd like, we can move them to the left. Here they are on the left. Let's keep them to the right for now. So this, and then of course, orders, executions, and positions on screenshots as well. So if you're saving your chart or taking screenshots and want to see these literally on the screenshot, all right, let's say we download an image or something of that sort, we'll see these. But maybe you don't want them shown, so you don't want traders to see your trades. Make sure that's turned off then. It's turned off by default. Now we're going to click OK. We have made our chart. Now we're going to click Save. We have saved our template. Everything that we just demonstrated to you has been saved now to our chart. That's right. We can see all of this information here, and it's been saved to our chart. And what we're going to make sure that we end on is basically the full walkthrough of everything that we've shown you. And let's just do regular hours trading here. There we go. So we've shown you the symbol and how to work through all of these options, especially depending on the chart type you're on. The status line, which is all of this information up here. We've also shown you the scales and lines and all of the features and lines that you can add to your chart. The canvas, which is just such an important feature, especially if you are looking to have things always be visible or always, or just visible on mouse hover over, or always invisible. Choice is yours. And by the way, we said we would come back to this. Keep in mind, navigation, you can see the navigation icons here. If you do always invisible, move our mouse down, you won't see it. But visible and mouse over, there they are. Quick navigation buttons that we need to zoom in or zoom out. Really depends on if you like these or if you use your mouse more often. We also now just wrapped up showing you trading and the way to visualize all of your orders. We also have shown you events and how to see all of the specific events on your chart. And depending on the symbol you're looking at, you might see different features on each of these items. For example, if you are in futures, you're going to see things like contract switching, events, contract switches. If you are on Forex, you are going to see things like, you won't see earnings because it's a Forex chart. And actually, we spelt this symbol wrong. So let's do EUR/USD. So there we go. Actually, on charts like Forex, you have the capability to see economic events. So you can see upcoming economic events right here on the chart if you have this on. And you can choose to see either all past events, see them now all along the chart going back in time, or only future events, so only out in the future. And we've now walked you through the whole concept of the chart settings menu. So if there's still questions you have, or comments that you want answered, or just feedback you have, write them in the comments, write our team, we will get back to you. But for all intensive purposes, you have just gotten the most detailed walkthrough of all time for everything in the TradingView settings menu. The next best step for you is to go out there, have fun, explore what's going on, and really dive in. Now, we did just realize something because we can see these orders here on the EUR/USD chart. Well, those orders are specifically related to, yep, you guessed it, orders. So you can see those orders and executions on the chart as needed. So see these red arrows and blue arrows? If we do executions, well, they're gone. If we keep them on, we can see. and we can either just see the orders, blue means buy, red means sell, or we can see the exact trade, buy 50, sell 1,000. We can see that right there. So that is another feature actually in trading settings that we wanted to mention. Hopefully you stuck around to capture that. If not, once again, it's so important for you to open up the symbols of your choice and to start modifying all of this. Build the perfect chart for all of your needs. If you stuck around this whole video, you now have the tools to build something entirely custom, different, and unique only to you. So once again, subscribe on our YouTube channel, visit our help center, tell people about this video, make sure you share it, click the upvote, and write something in the comments if you have additional questions. Thanks so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this.